Hey everyone, Muckluck here with a quick TLDR video recapping today's guild chat. Now today's guild chat primarily focused on fishing, skiffs, and they did one teaser of a new elite specialization at the end, so just letting you know ahead of time so you know what topics will be covered ahead. First off, they discussed that very early on in the story of End of Dragons, you will unlock fishing. You'll get your first fishing rod and your first fishing lure, similar to how very early on in Path of Fire you got your raptor for your entire account. They stated that fishing rods will not have durability and you do not have to worry about them breaking, which is something I was continuously joking about. However, lures and bait will have charges. They then covered the different fishing masteries, the first of which is the Fishing Hole Master, reduces time to catch at fishing holes and triples the experience gained from fishing there. Next up was Angler Sense, which grants a skill that detects nearby fishing hotspots and marks them on the map. Next was Fishing on a Full Tank, plus 50 to fishing while nourished. Nourished, of course, being the buff that you get for eating food in the game. Now, plus 50 to fishing is a reference to fishing power. Now, fishing power, they stated, gives a higher chance of catching rare fish and makes fishing easier in some regions. Next up was a Master Caster, which increases the max casting range by 50%, meaning how far you can throw your line from your current position. And lastly was Local Legend. Fishmongers and fishing merchants around Cantha will now offer you exclusive selections. This is your standard mastery that unlocks different merchants. They did state you can fish anywhere there is water in any zone, but fishing nodes, like you can see on the screen behind me here, will have the best chance of rare rewards. They then said to access your new fishing rod, there is a new button that is underneath the weapon swap, which you can see right down there right now, and that new button will allow you to access your fishing rod and your summoned boat at any time. The fishing minigame basically consists of casting your line, waiting until you see the bobber move, then pressing 1. Then you use the 2 and the 3 skills to keep the little highlight over the moving icon, which is the fish trying to get away. Once the progress bar underneath that fills up, you catch the fish. You can double-click the fish that you catch to fillet them immediately to get cooking materials. They said there will be fishing collections, and they briefly flashed a couple of them on the screen. They discussed that there will be a heart in EOD that will unlock the skiff. They did not show it. They said it was a major story spoiler to show it, so they held back on that. You place it on the ground or in the water, similar to how you place a guild decoration, offering a surprising amount of freedom when you're putting it down. I was impressed by that. They also said that you can dye your skiffs to change the color however you wish. Additionally, the fancy skiff there with the dragon on the head of it is the one that you get for pre-ordering End of Dragons. They then discussed the skiff masteries. First off is Full Throttle. You go faster. You go faster. Secondly was Depth Charges. You can sink enemies that are attacking you while you flee away from them. I don't believe it does damage. I think it just simply pulls them to the bottom of the water so that you can try to get away. But they did not show that skill in action. Next up was Speed Boost. It's a button that gives your skiff a brief burst of speed. And there is a way to spam this non-stop. I'll come back to that. Next up is Fishing Party. While on your skiff, you and your party receive an amount of fishing power equal to the total number of catches from fishing nodes, maxing out at plus 99. That means if you're in a group of people on your skiff and you all are fishing at a node and then another, pretty soon you guys will get up to max stacks and then you're getting better rewards, better loot, rarer fish, etc. And then the longer your fishing trips is, the more they will pay out, because the first period of time on any of your fishing trips is going to be building up stacks of this. Next up was Reinforced Hull. Simply increases your skiff's hit points by 5,000. They showed a boat that had 11,525 hit points, but I don't know if that was with Reinforced Hull or without. Meaning, it's possible that the hull is increasing the boat's hit points by about 50%. It's also possible if it started at 6k that it's nearly doubling it. The max number of people on a skiff is 5. While you're moving, the people in passenger seats will have buttons on their bar that essentially spam emotes like cheer. If they hit those emotes, the driver's endurance bar refills. The driver uses their endurance for that brief burst of speed we mentioned earlier, which means if everybody else on the boat is spamming the emote keys, the driver can just spam speed boost non-stop in a 5-man party. When the skiff is moving, members of the party of the driver that are on the skiff are forced into their seats. When the skiff comes to a stop, the driver can put down the anchor. When the anchor goes down, the skiff becomes a solid object. People can get out of their seats and move around the boat, and of course, start fishing. Now, it is only a solid object to your party. They did a good job of trying to make sure that this was troll-proof. So members of your party can jump on and off the boat, things like that. And they can even crash into each other if one of them is mobile and the other is parked. But again, that's only if you're in the same party with the other boat. If it's a complete stranger, it looks like you just phase right through them, so we don't have to worry about trolls blocking waterways and things like that. Additionally, because your party members' skiffs are solid to you when they're anchored, you could, in theory, park a bunch of party members, again, maximum 5, skiffs next to each other, anchor them all, and make a bridge. I don't know where we might find this useful, but you can do that. They then discuss that when the driver raises the anchor and starts to move, any members of the party that are on the boat, the system will attempt to forcibly seat them, and then you take off. Finally, they said they would have more information for us soon, but they left us with this image, which appears to be the next Elite Specialization teaser. Now, as anyone who's played this game for a while knows, the Elementalist class icon is that light red pink color, so think this is an Ellie. And it looks like she is wielding a large two-handed hammer. I do not know what this thing floating behind her is. Perhaps a class mechanic? I'm reminded of the flying focuses that would be above the left hand of the wizards in Diablo 3. I'm also reminded of the gyros that float above scrappers. Just a class mechanic, something to do with that. I'm not sure. But it looks very cool. However, this means that if all of our predictions are correct, if we are seeing Rev, Warrior, and Ellie on the next beta test, that means the final beta test will be all the medium armor wearers. And it's also in October. Mediums in October. Ha ha. Well done. Well, we will see. We will see. If you've got any thoughts, comments, questions, problems, thoughts, concerns you want to add on to what I've got here, throw them in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.